In this episode, we are talking about the creative economy. What is the creative economy? How you get to benefit or affected, or how you are affected by the creative economy, and what you need to do to position yourself to benefit fully from the growing creative economy. An economy is production, consumption of goods and services, and the supply of money. So there is production, then there is the consumption of that produced good or service, and there is the supply of money to the one who produces. So a creative economy is all about production of that content, creative content, and the consumption of it, and how money exchanges hand. The creative economy in Kenya is really growing, and in Kenya and Africa in general, because I'm speaking in the context of where I live. I live in Kenya, and so in Kenya and Africa, the creative economy is really growing. We have seen rise a lot of content creators, amazing films, especially in Kenya and South Africa. We are having great films coming out that are even on Netflix. Of course, being led by the Nigerians and the Nollywood. But then the film industry, the creative industry is really growing in Kenya. There are some numbers I want you to listen to, because I don't want to be the one saying these numbers. So listen to this video and try to understand these numbers so that you can see how big the industry is growing. Watch this video.
If I can throw some numbers at you, Amy Watson wrote on Statista.com, and this has been corroborated by PwC's Media and Entertainment Outlook reports, that the Kenyan media and entertainment industry in 2018 made $1.8 billion. $1.8 billion. This is projected to go through 11% year-on-year growth, and in 2021, she estimates that this industry will make $2.5 billion.
So according to that conversation, what does this mean? So a lot of people are benefiting from the creative industry. If an industry is $2.5 billion worth a year, the creative industry in Kenya, it means a lot of money is flowing or exchanging hands from the consumers to the creators of content. There's a lot of money that is being exchanged. So the question here we're asking is, how do you benefit from this? Because people are benefiting, and especially during the COVID season or the pandemic, a lot of content creators rose. And in fact, these people did great work in keeping us sober, because we were depressed, stressed, but then they came to entertain us, educate us, inspire us, and a lot of content creators rose from that. We also saw the rise of things like TikTok, and TikTokers now became a career in itself. And so the creative economy is really growing. So from the definition of economy, once content is produced and consumed, the economy is not complete if there is no supply of money. And so an economy is about production, consumption, and the transaction there between is using money or currency. If I use currency, it can be gold, it can be Bitcoin, it can be whatever, it can be, as long as it's currency that is paying this. So for it to be complete, if a content creator does not produce content, then there is no creative economy. But if you can produce content and it's consumed, then the economy is being built. However, if some currency does not come to you, you will not be able to produce any more content, and so there will be lack of content for consumption. And finally, if that cycle of production, content, and supply of currency, if that whole transaction does not happen, the economy will crash. And that's what we are talking about, the creative economy. So the question we are asking here, after you produce content, whose responsibility is it to make sure that the creative who creates the content gets the money back? For you to really benefit from the creative economy, you need to be an entrepreneur. You need to have the skill on how to monetize, the skill on how to get money from your content. Because if you don't do that, then all the money, all the billions of money that is flowing in the industry will not reach your pocket, and you'll not be able to create anymore, because creating is expensive, takes time, it needs money. And so you will not be able to produce any more content. And the reason why I'm talking about that is because most of us are so fascinated and are so diligent in building our creative skills, but not our business skills. And so money just passes over us, and we wonder why we are not growing. It's because we need to learn how to hold or tap on some of the money that is going in the creative industry. And now it's a call to you as a creative to become a creative entrepreneur. Creative entrepreneurs, creative business people, smart business people are the ones that are going to benefit from the creative economy. I will give you a very good example. I will start with an international example and then I will come back. And before even I go that, the real point of this is we need to have structures as creatives. You as a person need to have structures. You need to have ways that you can be able to grow and scale your creative abilities. Scaling is very important so that you can reach more people, which means more money, more reach. You need to have some understanding of business. Need to have some understanding of how to run a business, how to pitch, how to negotiate for even better deals, how to sell your content. And there are people in this country that are doing so well in that. And I'll give you just one example. But then I will start with an international example.
Beyonce. We all know Beyonce, Queen Bee. Got a phone call one day that she needed to go and perform at Coachella. This would have been a very simple conversation. Hi, Beyonce, we need you at Coachella. How much are you paying? This much? All right. Go on stage, perform, and go home. But Beyonce has a business. She has a business process and a team behind her. What they did was they considered the stage performance simply as one product. But there is another byproduct, which is content. So this guy sat back and scripted a whole documentary based on her performance at Coachella. By the way, it is rumored that Beyonce was offered $8 million to go on Coachella. Her team asked for half of that amount in exchange for rights to that content. It is also rumored that she later sold this for $60 million to Netflix.
In Kenya, I'm going to give an example of the one and only guy that I love so much called Abel Mutua and his team. And in the middle of COVID, Abel Mutua was telling stories to his family, and they decided, let us tell these stories to the public, and they started on Instagram, and after some time they went to YouTube, and they were producing this content using a phone for free. But it came to a point where Abel Mutua, with the help of friends, they decided, let us see whether if we tell people to support us, they will support us. And they started putting a pay bill number at the bottom of the screen. And who would have expected? People started giving out money. And finally, when things opened up, they had even very many ways of monetizing that. They started having live shows where we would pay 1,000 bob and around 300 people would go. So if you do simple mathematics, 300 people with 1,000, that's 300,000 earnings in a day. And then he went on and started doing merchandise. He started doing merch, t-shirts, jackets, all those things. And finally, the epitome of it all, because of the following they had amassed of creating of people who love stories and how he is very good at storytelling, they created a film called GLL and they sold it to us. Now that's one creative, and there's one creative who is just creating content, very nice content, and posting it on YouTube, and that's it. Or there's another one who's just creating content and posting it on Instagram. Very good content. But these two are in a very different economic state. One is really earning from it, the other one is not. And that's all about the creative economy. So out of the $2.3 billion that are flowing in the economy in the year 2020 or 2021, and in the year 2022 is projected to be at $2.5 billion, what is your stake? How will you position yourself so that you can be able to tap from that? And I will give you a tip. First of all, you need to be very business oriented. You need first of all, remove the fear of monetizing. Believe that you have a good product and people would like to consume it, and that you can put a price to it. Whether you are doing a course, whether you're teaching on YouTube, be smart enough to monetize it. Become an entrepreneur. Go have some study about business, how to monetize. Supply and demand. The economy is about supply and demand. Supply of content, demand of content, supply of money. And it's all about that. So I want us to really benefit from the creative economy. And when you do that, you're going to see a lot of difference. So we are going to have a webinar that we are going to talk deep about step-by-step steps on how we can, as creatives, as photographers, filmmakers, designers, animators, name yourself, a webinar to speak about the creative economy and step-by-step things of how you can be able to tap into the millions of money, whether it's starting a business, whether it's starting a photography studio, whether it's having a production agency and a marketing agency like me that is really earning a lot of money right now. All those things, we are going to have them on our webinar. So make sure that you follow us. Go to photolaunchers.com/bootcamp and you're going to see all our webinars and register for the webinar that is coming up that's about the creative economy, and we are going to talk that in deep. Also ask your questions, and if you have questions about the creative economy, this is not the last time you're having this conversation, so make sure that you go and research, see how you can be able to tap in the $2.5 billion that are flowing in the industry. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Also make sure that you listen to our podcast, that the link is in the description below. Also follow us on social media, on Instagram and on Facebook and on Twitter, and also join the pro group. Most of this conversation, even for the webinar, you will not be able to view the webinar if you're not part of the pro group membership, and it's free of charge until May. So make sure that you join the pro group to benefit from all the webinars that we are having, even concerning the creative economy. And until next time, continue to learn, practice, and create, because it is your responsibility to be successful. Cheers.